the Eldorado Park police have confirmed the death of a 4-year-old girl in hospital following allegations that she was repeatedly beaten and sexually assaulted by her father. Police say the case docket has been changed to murder and an additional charge of rape has been added. The 32-year-old father appeared in the Protea Magistrate's court on Friday, facing charges of attempted murder in connection with his daughter. Earlier this week, police responded to a complaint regarding the father's physical abuse of his child in Eldorado Park. Upon arriving at the scene, officers were directed to a closed backyard shack. Inside, they discovered a man with a young boy and a little girl. The father was arrested and the girl was rushed to a nearby medical care center for treatment. The father was later charged with attempted murder and child abuse, further investigated by Family, Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit, led to the arrest of the mother of the victim, who was being charged with defeating the ends of justice. Tragic story. We now unpack this with the director of the Teddy Bear Clinic, Dr. Shaheda Omar. Shaheda, thank you so much for joining me once again. Really appreciate it. This is one of those stories that just makes my body go cold. Earlier in the week, you and I had a conversation about early warning systems that could be preventative towards making sure that we keep our children safe. And then this happens. One has to ask, we know which children are vulnerable, we know where they are, we know why they're vulnerable. What is it that we can proactively do to have prevented the death of this 4-year-old girl?
Oliver, I just want to say it's indeed such a tragic day for the nation of South Africa. We're talking about this day after day, week after week, month after month, and it's actually absolutely unacceptable. I think we need to get governmental support here. We need the president to declare this a national pandemic. But when you talk about what are we doing, what can we do differently, I think we need to realize and appreciate that this is a multifaceted, it requires a multifaceted systemic approach that would require the combination of child protection services. And under child protection, what we're referring to is the work of Department of Social Development, Child Welfare, civil society organizations that are working in the child protection sector, mental health facilities and settings, but also addressing early intervention and community support structures. I want to emphasize on the community support structures, because if we just cast our minds to a week ago where we were faced with the other child in nuclear exposed to drugs, and the community's response brought immediate attention and, of course, brought attention to the safety and protection of the child. So once again, looking at the Eldorado Park community, we know that the mother probably was, we can speculate that she may have been in a domestic violence relationship, fear of reprisal, fear of all sorts of things. And the reality is that she was complacent, complicit, and of course complacent. And I think that is something that we find often present in many domestic violence cases where children are often victims of child abuse. So when we speak about the work that needs to be done, we need to empower, enhance our communities on the ground, in the neighborhoods, actually going out there. We need healthcare facilities or healthcare practitioners, social workers, lay counselors, volunteers in the community, police forums, the Adopt a Cop that we had years ago that was working well. We need to bring back social workers going out and making home visits. I think that is key, especially at-risk families that identify people that are struggling with not only the poverty and domestic violence, but substance abuse. And if we look at the landscape of this community, that is also very rife. Gangsterism and violence is the order and norm of the day. So working together, I think, is something that is key and critical, and ensuring that community members are fully aware of what constitutes abuse, but at the same time are aware of what resources they can reach out, and those resources must be available 24/7 in order to ensure that the children and communities are protected, because we can see in this case that the family, the parents who are supposed to be protectors, implicit protection of children, are predators and perpetrators and violating children.
The mother in this instance has been arrested for her failure to report this case. The community had reported the case, and that's how the police came out. And earlier on, you said the signs are there that she ostensibly and invariably herself may have found herself to be in an abusive relationship in that instance. Should community members, parents, and family members at large carry criminal culpability for their failure to report in such an instance as the mother is now facing?
Very important question. So just to bring it to the attention and alert everybody, Section 110 of the Children's Act specifically stipulates that it's a legal obligation to report, and failure to report constitutes a criminal offense. And I think this is what we need to do. And having spoken to colleagues during the course of the day, ACT Africa and Gauteng Department of Social Development and Gauteng Department of Education, this is the kind of awareness raising we need to make people more aware that it's a legal obligation to report.
Shaheda, just for clarity, is that legal obligation on anyone who's a witness to the abuse of a child, or specifically on family? Is it more of a Good Samaritan law that if you, regardless of your status and relationship with a child or a minor, witness that child being abused and or raped, even if you speculated, that you bear a statutory responsibility to report that?
Very important, Oliver. Anybody. If there's suspicion, there's an inkling, there's some level of doubt, an element of doubt that something is wrong, something is amiss with this child, it is actually mandatory for the person to report it. And if they are afraid of, a reprisal and being rebuked or, just being violated in the community, they could report it anonymously to the child protection organization, like the FCS and any other designated child protection organization, for them to go out, make home visits, investigate, and ensure that proper assessments are conducted. So it's imperative that people report it and understand the importance of reporting.
Shaheda, thank you so much for your time and your insights. I would like to say it's a pleasure to speak to you, but it really isn't, because it's always under tragic circumstances, and we appreciate the work that you're doing in the community. Thank you so much. Dr. Shaheda Omar is the director of the Teddy Bear Clinic.